Hello, this is Ahmad from Global Project Control. Welcome to our new session. In previous step, we talked about how you can create a detailed curve plan by using Primavera P6 information. Let me to show it to you. If I search it, then you can find it. This is the exact curve for the plan. But on this curve, you can find out how much monthly progress is available for engineering, for management, for procurement, and for construction. But here, as you see, we have a little fluctuation after the beginning of the project and in the middle of project we have some fluctuation. But in order to create a good S-curve, we need to distribute the progress for monthly budgeted unit to each month near to the average. For instance, if our average is like this, we need to have a data near to this line. If we are too much ahead of average or too much behind of average, it means that we need to a little focus on that month and then find out if we can work on this or not. But how you can work on this matter? If we come back to the Primavera P6 information, we have three solutions. The first one is investigate about the project and activity by using activity usage profile or resource usage profile. How you can work with this kind of information. As you see, we have too much progress on the January, February, and March. Then we have above than average to the October, November, December, and January. So let's investigate about those months and find out what's happened to the project. Before we want to go for investigation, let's look at the project on the level 2. Over this overview of the project, we can find out the management started from the beginning and ended from the end of project. But the engineering started from the beginning of the project and ended on the month March, and procurement started under the February and continue up to March. And the first last month of project will be covered by construction. But how we can investigate about this bunch of information? At the beginning, let me to change my layout and remove the filtration from the layout. Then expand all information. Before we want to start, we need to save the current copy of the project as a baseline because we want to track the project for each changes and find out if this change effect is good for this project or it's not good. So I go to the maintain, create, save a copy for this project to use it as a baseline. As you see, my project is baseline 2, so I assign the baseline for my current baseline. No worries. Now, if you want to look at for each month and see that what kind of activity you can investigate about that, you need to use this check mark for time period. Then as a result of this selection, you are able to look at for each month activity. If the activity start belongs to this month, then the list of activity over the above section will be filtered. Now, I want to look at those activities. As you see, these are the activity with less than 1 month duration. So I cannot shift the budget to the next month or move it to the previous month by using some technique for the resource curve. But let's try for the next month. I don't have any big activity over here as a duration with high duration activity, only maybe one. So it's not take effect too much on my schedule. Let me to go for the month of March. Okay. Unfortunately, I cannot find any activity for the March too. So let's to continue with April. May. Oh, I found something here. This is the manufacturing activities. June, July, August, September, okay, October, November, and December. I don't think so if I can find any good activity at the end of project instead of these procurement activities, because the construction activity usually has no long duration. Okay, we have some part of activity over the procurement. It's a bit longer than other activities, so let me to check it if the activity name is belongs to the manufacturing or inspection. Then I can find out these two activities. Now I go to the activity filter, create a new filter for activity name. It will be contained to the manufacturing, that's enough, and copy paste, or inspection. Because I use contain, I don't need to mention all of the information. The result only show me one. Let me to check for any other filter. Oh, I use this filter. So let me to disable the time filter. Then yes, it's developed to the all of other activity. Now, if you are familiar with the resource curve, I want to use the resource curve for this item. How can I use it? You need to select the activity over here. Then go to the activity detail, find the resource. On the resource you have the curve here, but if you don't have it already, you need to right click, go to the customize resource columns, and add the curve from the general category. Now I add it here. Then which curve you want to use it? First, let's look at the curve. Here is the curve for the procurement. As you see, we have a bunch of information over here. So if we can shift those information from the month of October, November, December, and January to the earlier possibility. This effect is not reflected on your time. It is only push the project to earn the progress earlier because we are looking for the better distribution of the resource curve. We want this distribution going to be near to the average, but let's do on the front load. We have some possibility of the front loading. We have another choices. For instance, we have the triangular, or we have the double peak or early peak. Here is early peak, and here is triangular in decrease. It is provide us very sharp curve for this information for the beginning of the task, but maybe front loaded is enough for these changes. So on the front loaded, as you see, we can earn double in the first 50% of duration percent complete for the budgeted unit in comparison with the second 50% of the project. Now I'm gonna be assign the curve to these activities for the front loaded. If you are looking for any smarter assignment for these activities, you can use the resource usage profile and looking for activity, and then you can filter those activity here instead of using the activity tab. For instance, you can find the next inspection here. Then if you click it, you can find the front loaded here. But because I want to use this filter, let me to continue here. After this assignment, it is good if you look at your curve in the P6. As you see, we improve our curve by shifting budgeted unit to the earliest possibility. This is the baseline curve. Here you can find the budgeted labor. This comparison provides us the information of these changes. If I'm gonna be remove the filtration, you can find that what is the differences between the previous curve and the baseline S-curve. But here is the first action. We can do two more filtration. The second filtration is based on the duration. So I'm gonna be look at the original duration. If the original duration is greater than 30, then show me the task. Here is the task with greater than 13 days of duration. The most of activity with this duration belongs to the procurement section over the manufacturing and inspection. So we change it. We already changed all of them. One of the tasks belongs to the construction, but the construction task is related to the management section. This is the supervisional task. And the three other tasks is belongs to the project, engineering, and procurement. Those three tasks are belongs to the supervision of the sections. So now we don't have any other choices for these changing. The last item is the filtration based on the budgeted hours. For this filtration, let me to remove the. For this item, first of all, we need to look at how much budgeted laborers and non-laborers assigned to this project. We have totally about 10,000 budgeted hours in engineering, about more than 30,000 to the procurement, and more than 4,000 to the construction section. But if you want to look at the activity with budgeted laborers or non-laborers is greater than one exact digit. So I go to the filtration. This is the filter for budgeted hours. So I looking on budget labor unit greater than 1,000 or budget non-labor unit greater than 1,000 hours. Any of those items. Now I apply the filter. If you look at the filtration, you can find out all those activities mentioned on the manufacturing. So we already applied this change to the manufacturing section, but some of the tasks show us and we didn't change anything over here last time. Why? Because those activities are level of effort. Level of effort are supervisional activities. We cannot move it forward or backward, and it is not correct if you want to move the budgeted hours for supervisional activities because you need it by average based on the project duration. But for the manufacturing task, you will earn the progress, for instance, based on the rule of credit. So at the beginning of the manufacturing, based on your inspection test plan, you have some sort of item, for instance, inspection of the raw material. You will earn some progress about that. That is why we emphasize on the manufacturing task, which belongs to the procurement phase of project, because you can earn and accelerate the progress for the project on that activity. But it is not logical if you, for instance, want to push the construction supervisional activity. It is the supervisional activity. You cannot accelerate this task without help of other tasks. So if you change the budgeted balance for supervisional activity, it's not correct. So after these three checking, let me to remove the filter and go to the print preview. Look at here. The result of this work is like this. In the beginning, with save off the time scale of the project, we are not going to be decrease or increase the time scale of the project. In the short summary, we freeze the project duration like a baseline. We cannot move the first month of project because it belongs to the engineering and the duration of the activity mostly less than 1 month. From the month of April to the I mean that April 2021 to April 2022, we try to earn more progress between those months. So, as you see, we can earn more budgeted labor unit in comparison with baseline project labor unit. We made this change by first filter the project activities based on the duration, filter the activities based on the budgeted unit. We remove some of those activity from our filtration based on the designation of the task on the project. For instance, we didn't make change on level of effort activities because it's not correct. And then assign the proper resource curve based on our investigation about the resource curve to the selected activities. Now, if I want to draw the average line for the budgeted labor unit, I can draw this. And if I want to compare it with the previous one, I can draw this. That is the total change on this S-curve. I hope this solution will be helpful for you. Thank you for watching Global Project Control.
I hope this lesson is useful for you. Please keep in touch with my LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook for further lesson. Also, you can visit my website www.globalprojectcontrol.com in order to find all of my lesson and courses in the same time. Thank you for your subscription at my YouTube channel.